are leaving because weather. Always weather. Weather, weather, weather. There's a big blow coming Monday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 30 to 40 mile an hour winds from the west for 3 days off and on.
And that's just no fun. Usually the weather comes from the east, so there's not a lot of protection from the west, so we got to get there a day or two early to like claim your spot. But with this kind of bad weather too, people help each other out. Hopefully we'll be able to find a spot.
One of the negatives about cruising in the Exumas is along this whole island chain, there's really not a lot of protection from the west. Luckily, usually the trade winds come from the east. In the wintertime though, the winds circle around, so usually you'll get most of it coming from the east, and then you'll get a day or two where it might come from the south, southwest, west, northwest. When you talk about weather on a boat, sometimes you just can't always get 100% out of the weather. This is Black Point. This is the big, kind of the harbor, marina. Not really marina, just a protected area, except from the west. If you look this direction, that is west, and the wind is coming from the west, northwest tonight. So as you can see, all of us boats are bucking pretty good. But it's only supposed to do that for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 hours, and then it's going to clock around from the north and northeast over here, and it's supposed to pick up from, I think we're in the 15 to 20s right now, and it's supposed to pick up to like the 35s, maybe even up as high as 40 miles an hour. So we're gonna have a rough day, a little bit of a rough day right now, but by picking this location, hopefully it should be much more protected when it really gets bad. As you can see, we've already taken down our bimini, because anything above 20, 25 miles an hour could rip it. There are a couple of anchorages that are protected pretty much from all directions. One of them is Georgetown there, Elizabeth Harbor. Between the two islands is a great spot. I think that's why so many people end up staying a long time there, because it is protected, or you can find protection from any direction. Up north you've got Norman's Pond Key. It again is protected from all directions. It's just a really ugly entrance, so you got to hit it at high tide at the right direction to get in there. There's a couple other small spots here and there which, if you had a real bad westerly, you could tuck in, but as soon as it moved to any other direction, it's going to be wide open. So, again, they're there, but you're constantly moving, looking for coverage.
What's going on?
Are we moving?
No, we're not moving.
It's this wavy and we're at anchor? What's the sea state, Caleb?
What's the sea state?
Well, what are the waves like?
Really rocky, and I say they're about 5 to 6 foot waves. Maximum 7.
No, baby. These are like 2 foot, maybe. Yeah. They're small waves, but choppy, and 25 knots of wind. So it is so hard to video how much we're rocking.
Hey, you need to keep the camera steady. Do you think the auto stabilization will fix that?
Yeah, definitely.
Before I go into any anchorage, I always make sure I have all ground tackle and any additional lines I may need ready to go. We don't always tow our dinghy, but when we do, this is also when we move it over to side tow to ensure the towing line can't foul our prop, and I can't accidentally back over the dinghy. I always move through an anchorage at idle speed. As I do, I'm looking at the wind, current, and how other boats are sitting. Between this and weather predictions, I pick a spot that will offer the best protection for the boat. Keeping in mind proper anchoring etiquette, my anchoring should never cause another boat already here the need to move. That would be rude.
As I wait for the order to drop anchor, I'm reading the water to help my dad pick a spot with the best holding.
We look for clear sand or mud, never coral or rock, and try to stay away from seagrass. Once my dad says to drop anchor, he also tells me how much chain. Then I count each white mark as it goes by. Each mark is 10 feet.
Once the proper amount of chain is out, I make sure the anchor is set. The key is to watch the chain. If it stretches tight and the boat gently pulls back towards the anchor, you know it's set. If the chain hops, skips, or jumps as the boat puts pressure on the anchor, that is a sign that the anchor is dragging across the bottom and not set. Now that our anchor is set, next we need to secure the snubber line, also sometimes called a bridle. A snubber is a length of line attached to the anchor chain and a strong point on the boat. The aim is to take the load off the windlass and deck, which is not designed to take the shock load as it changes on anchor due to wind, current, and swell. We have a chain hook from Mantis. You could also use a rolling hitch. Once your line is secured to the chain, simply let out more chain until the weight of the boat is on the snubber and not the windlass. You still want to set any locks on your windlass or chain should the snubber line break. Finally, make sure both ends of the snubber are properly secured to the strong points of your boat.
Having a properly set anchor, scope, and bridle prepare us with a protected location for a 35 to 40 knot storm coming. After 2 days of strong winds, we got off the boat to go hiking. Cocoa Beach! Ron John
We'll make sure they derail themselves.
You were right, Caleb. You knew where to go, huh? Where are we going?
To Rachel's bath,
And what are we going to do there?
get in the water.
We are turning around. Rachel's bath is another mile or so that way and easily another hour's walk. And we've already been walking for an hour and a half, which would then put us at a 2.5 to 3 hour walk back, plus time to enjoy it. And the sun's gonna set in 3 hours, so we just felt like with the rough terrain of having to go cliffside to get there, it's just not worth it for today. So we're gonna have to find a way to dinghy around and find another way to explore Rachel's bath. That's what we've experienced in the Bahamas so far, is the cool things that you want to go see, do, eat, touch, feel, whatever. You don't realize it's not always what you think it's going to be, or you don't really get clear instructions how to get there, what it is. So a lot of things we've done twice to enjoy them and figure it out the first time. So note, Rachel's bath is not an easy hike from Compass Key Marina.
Sometimes in an anchorage you get wind coming from one direction and your swell comes from the side, and it's kind of uncomfortable and rolly. So we're going to rig up a Swell Bridal and see if we can't make it a little more comfortable here on the boat. The first thing we had to do was pull in our snubber line and another 30 feet of anchor chain. I then attached the end of the line to the anchor chain with a rolling hitch. This line needs to be longer than your boat because from here I will run it down the port side to the rear cleat. I then let out anchor chain so the rolling hitch is between the bow of our boat and the water line. Then pull in all the line at the rear of the cleat so that the line is tight along the side of the boat. Okay. We got it cleated off on our port side. We'll go up front and let down some chain, and it should turn our boat into the swell, and the wind should come on this side. I slowly let out the anchor chain, maybe 10 feet at a time, and then waited to see what the boat did in the wind and swell. I kept letting out more chain until it sat the way that I wanted it to.
Much more comfortable, huh?
Except for the wind.
Well, it's windy, but it's not bad. Everyone else is taking the Swell broadside, and now we're taking it head on.
Man, what a difference that Swell Bridal has made. As you can see, we've turned compared to every other boat. You can probably see the trawler behind me, how rocking and rolling they are. And we are now hardly moving at all. A little bit of up and down in the bow. So much more comfortable. I just want to say thanks again for watching our video, guys. Hope it was helpful for you guys. Please make sure to like our videos, subscribe to our channel. It really, really helps us. We're shooting for that 10,000 subscriber mark. It's coming up close. We hope you guys have a wonderful week. And remember, enjoy the journey. We'll see you next Friday.